Let's get an update now on the situation at the Lebombo border post with Nqobile Madlala, who joins us. And now, Nqobile, a little bit earlier on, you were giving us just that statement as well then from the BMA, and just really with regards to the flow of traffic as we're seeing it even just behind you there. Won't you just give us a sense of what it is that those that are crossing the border are perhaps feeling, if there is still a sense of frustration with regards to the process and the processing of the goods and their vehicles through that border, and what we're seeing right now?
But at this point, Arabile, what we have seen, of course, is that clearing of the trucks. And I want to show you first before I get into what they're telling us. So as you can see, you remember that we saw on the statement from the BMA talking about the fact that the processing continues of those trucks. So we're seeing a flow in how the trucks are actually moving. You'll remember also in what we have picked up from Umoeli, who was here, that a lot of truckers were obviously concerned about the prolonged wait in here. Now, you'll remember that this impacts directly the water economy, which becomes a major issue because billions of rands are spent just standing on the road. So the longer they wait on the side of the road, that becomes an issue for the trucking industry, but also for the ports that's on the other side. Because you'll remember also when you get a ship to dock, you have to pay certain amount of money. And so the longer you wait for certain products, of course, that affects. Now, we know that this port, for example, Lebombo Port, we know that it goes straight into Mozambique at kilometer 4. They are able to be cleared, and then they go into the area where they're able to take off the load into a ship. Now, the problem there at the harbour becomes the fact that if they're slow at this side and there are issues this side, especially with the communities being unhappy, that means that that water economy is directly affected. But I'm going to walk this side so I can show you more. But if you come on the ground, Arabile, you're seeing that there are people that are currently working within this area. So as you can see, these are some of the foods that are being taken into Mozambique. These are people that are actually selling on the other side of Mozambique. Now, some of the people here will have concerns around how they've been treated. Some of the taxi owners that we have spoken to have refused to be on camera, but they felt that they currently are being stopped from being able to do their work. So it seems there is a bit of tension between them and the police. It's unclear why. But at the same time, as you can see there are some of the hawkers. These are some of the people that would sell food mainly to the people within this area. So those people continuing with business as usual. But a little earlier on, before you came to us, what we saw was at least 2 people that got arrested within this area. They were arrested by the police that then took them inside here. As they were taking people in that area, we saw quite a number of people running into the bushes. Now, the major issue in this area being the fact that some people will actually exploit those loopholes and they will then come out of the bushes, and you'll see those are some of the people that are coming out of the bushes, and those people will then not have passports. So the police also doing some rounds just to ensure that there are no crossovers without passports. So when the police come in this area, and this is the area again where they're selling a lot of food, a lot of activities, so informal economy is really thriving in this area. But what you see then is once the police start doing their job, then it becomes a major issue and people start running to ensure that they are able to run away from the police. But this is not a new problem, Arabile. You must understand that in this area, there's a lot of activity that takes place, including in areas like this. And I want to show you people just crossing. You see some of the people will cross like that into the bushes and they'll go over and around the fence. So these are the problems that the police have to deal with on a daily basis. So there's a lot of activity, yes, happening with people walking around and being able to do their business. But that means also there's a lot of activities where the police have to show that law enforcement is actually on the ground. We know that already the public, the safety in Mpumalanga had already said that they were working with the border management. They ensured that they were going to assist as much as they can with law enforcement on the ground. In fact, we are expecting that they're also going to be part of anything that takes place within the border. We saw in the past where the MEC was able to speak to us about some of the concerns and the issues that they are seeing, especially at the time where the festive season goes up and you see peak traffic, not only in people who are on the ground, who are walking in and out of the border, but also you're seeing peak traffic of the number of people that are deciding to travel inside Mozambique. But essentially, that's what's taking place here at the border, Arabile.
Nqobile, I mean, one thing's for sure, then the need for law enforcement becomes very critical. Earlier on, you were showing us, of course, possible areas in which some may breach the border as well. Is there an increased police presence, not just because of the situations we have been seeing between Mozambique specifically and that border post, but certainly as well with the arrival, of course, of the festive season?
Look, Arabile, I can tell you that there's a lot of working together where you find that there's national government, where you see the border management authorities, that's nationally, and then you're seeing also the province itself, where safety comes in as well, where they're able to then provide with sort of more boots on the ground. We know that based on what is taking place on the ground, the province had said that they will be able to chip in when they can and whenever there is those sort of activities where they are able to assist. But at the same time, you've got CPF within this area as well, where they are also able to look. So when you have traffic like this that's taking place, actually, Arabile, let me show you more about the police, because as you can see there, that arrest is taking place as we're speaking to you. That has got to do with passports. But what you see is, as you see an increased activity, then you see CPF as well that is on the ground. And when CPF is on the ground, they want to ensure that when there's long traffic within the border, then they're able to ensure that there's no criminality that takes place. So there's quite a lot of criminality that would take place here. If you speak to the truckers, they'll tell you that at night it becomes quite a huge issue because people would come to their trucks and they'd have to be protected. So you have CPF that's assisting, but far beyond that, you also have some of the taxi alliance that comes in here that is able also to assist and just ensure that the law is really being upheld in this entire area. As you can see there, the police as well doing their work, also in conjunction with what is taking place with regards to the BMA on the ground. But Arabile, an issue of passports in this area is one that we have seen quite significantly, which has led to some of the arrests that we are seeing taking place, mainly because it's very easy to come across, as you can see. And I want to show you as it's taking place behind me. People can just come across, they can go over the river and come across within this area. So an increase of that assistance with regards to law enforcement is one that's always needed and always welcome in this border.
Nqobile, thank you so much for that reporting. I mean, one thing's for sure is that, seeing that work sort of live as well in the area is certainly significant and kind of gives you a clear sense of what exactly is happening in and around that border post as well, which has been, of course, one to really follow of late, considering the tensions we've seen, particularly in Mozambique. Nqobile Madlala, they're joining us from the Lebombo border post.